Hey everyone, it's Jess from Meyer Hatchery, and today I want to show you how I make my end of summer nest box blend. This is a mix of herbs that I use in my nest box every time I give those nest box a good cleaning. The great thing about this recipe is you can use whatever herbs you have on hand and the herbs you know your flock loves. So, a couple months ago, we looked at how I dried some of my herbs and how I hung them up, and here's what they look like all dried. They look so great. And the herbs that I'm using in my nest box blend are lavender and mint because I know that my flock really likes those herbs and they're beneficial to my flock. The lavender is great for keeping my hens nice and calm because it has a calming effect and it adds a lovely lavender scent to our nest box, which I think my hens appreciate. And the mint is a great natural pest repellent. And our flock also likes to nibble on the mint leaves for a little cool treat as well. Another thing you can add to your nest box blend is some dried flowers. So I've got some marigolds here that have started to dry out that I'm going to add into my blend. Now I mix up my nest box blend in batches. So the batch that we're mixing up today is one that I'm going to use in the next couple weeks, and I don't mind that my marigold flowers are still not fully dry. If I'm going to be making a large batch, which I'll do in another week or so, I want to make sure that those marigold flowers are really, really dry so they don't add any moisture back into the herbs that we've worked hard to dry. To put together our blend is really easy. We're going to first get all the dried goodness off of our bundles that we have here. And then we're going to mix everything together and we're going to put it into a jar. I like to use mason jars like this here because I can see everything on the inside and they're convenient and easy to grab when it's time to go do my coop chores. Let's get these herbs off of our dried stems here. I like to use a bowl like this here to capture everything as I'm rubbing these herbs here to get all the dried herbs off and the lavender flowers off. You can use a little bit of a bigger bowl if you'd like, but because I'm just doing the two bunches here, this little bowl works great. So I'm going to carefully set my mint aside for a second, and we're going to focus on the lavender. And I'm just rubbing it in between my hands here, and I'm knocking off all of those flowers. I like to have a trusty towel underneath to capture anything that may not make it into the bowl, and I'll dump it back into my bowl here. When I'm all done getting the flowers off of here, I don't throw this away. I use my hanger here and I hang this up in the coop because it's still very much, even though the flowers are off there, has that wonderful lavender smell and it's going to help in the coop. So I just hang this up and I let it stay there throughout the winter time. Look at all those beautiful lavender flowers. Oh, that looks so great. All right, I'm going to do the same thing to my mint here. Another thing that I like to do with the mint is some of the mint that I've saved, I will put into a mason jar. And if I want to give my flock a little bit of a cool treat, I'll float the dried mint in their water, especially if we have a off warm kind of winter day and maybe the coop's just a little warmer than it should be for that time of year. They love the treat. All right, here we go. I wish we had smell YouTube because this smells really, really good. And the last thing that I'm going to use is some of those marigold flowers. And here's what our blend looks like. Oh, this looks so great. I love this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of mix everything a little bit more with our hands, and then we're just going to put it inside of our mason jar here. All right, here's what our blend looks like, all mixed together and in the mason jar. If you want to be sure that there's no extra moisture in here, you can add one of those moisture absorbing packets into here. Again, depending on how long you're going to store it. I'm going to use this probably pretty quickly here over the next couple weeks. Hopefully I've given you some inspiration to make your own nest box blend. If you have any questions, be sure to let us know in the comments below. As always, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click that bell so you're the first to know every time a new video has been released. I'm going to go add some of this to my nest boxes.